Hi everyone, and welcome to Lake Oswego United Church of Christ. My name is Adam Erickson, and I want to talk to you today about one of the passages that we will be discussing this Sunday, October 16th, at church. The passage is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 18, verses 1 through 8. And in this passage, Jesus is talking about the need to pray all the time and also to not lose heart. And that's important because there are so many times in his disciples' lives and in our lives too, where we feel like maybe God isn't listening to our prayers. And so Jesus comes to his disciples during one of these difficult times where they're feeling that maybe God isn't listening, and he says, keep praying. He gets at this idea through a story about a widow. And during this time, widows had a really difficult life. They were often marginalized in their society. People didn't care for them. In fact, many people took advantage of widows. And that's what happened in this story. The widow took somebody else to court because she had been taken advantage of, and she's seeking justice. Well, the judge that she has is called an unjust judge. And the judge doesn't care about God, nor does the judge care about his fellow human beings. And you remember from Jesus that he says that the two greatest commandments are to love God and to love your neighbor. Well, this unjust judge doesn't do either one. And so he also ignores the widow. But the widow is persistent. She doesn't give up hope. She keeps going back to this unjust judge until she gets justice. And Jesus is saying here that God is so much better than an unjust judge. God loves and cares for everyone, especially for people like the widow. And so Jesus says that there may be times in our lives when we feel like the widow, and we need to keep praying like the widow prayed. But the widow didn't just pray. She also fought for herself. And so there may be times when we need to fight or advocate for ourselves, but I think that there are also more likely than not times when we need to advocate and fight for others. So there is the need to prayer, but along with prayer, Jesus requires that we also put some action forward like the widow did. So I was thinking about activities that we could do in our families in order to represent this. And this might be a fun activity. Take a cup or a bucket and make a prayer cup. So take some cardboard, decorate it, and write prayer cup around it and tape it to the cup. And then inside the cup you can put pieces of paper and write out people's names that you think could use some prayer. And it will remind you to pray for those people. You can take the paper out and pray for them. And don't just pray for them, but also seek them out. Maybe call them on the phone or go make a visit, see how they're doing. And in that way, we become like the widow who not only prayed, but also worked for more justice and love in the world. So let me show you how to make a prayer cup. So there's your prayer cup. You can put it on your table or on your desk, and whenever you see it, you can be reminded of Jesus' teaching to pray constantly and to not lose heart. So we start service this Sunday at 10:30 here at Lake Oswego United Church of Christ. Hope to see you then. Until then, grace and peace be with you.